my cigarette lighter? I can't see where the fuel is. Hello. This time on Crash Test Dummy TV. G'day all. I am gonna kick this in the guts. There you go. No, not that sort of kick in the guts. No, this kick in the guts is I'm going to try and start it. Hey, one thing earlier. Now, as I explained, I think in the last video, the carby's all been jammed up. Throttle won't pull on. It is going in now, but it's, as far as coming back, it's really stiff. Choke works okay now. It is a little bit stiff, but it's working, it's operating, so that's okay for now. I did crank it over, I must admit, and it went cough. Well, it didn't go cough, but it went brum, like just one bump. But I wanted to save the rest, so with the choke cable, one thing you want to buy and have in your mini workshop is one of these. Hope that's in camera. I think it's called a Scotty. No, it's not a Scotty's oiler, but anyway, it's a cable oiler. You pull your cable out. The outer shroud is for the big end, and the small end, that's where you pull the cable through. You screw this down, then in this little hole there, you stick your the nozzle for the your penetrol, your WD-40, CRC, whatever you want to call it. You stick in that little hole there, and when you squirt it, it forces in the outer shroud of the cable and forces itself up the cable. So that's how you lubricate your cables with one of these. It'll probably cost you between 12 and 20 bucks. Any more than that, I would tell them to go jump off a big cliff. But anyway, go and get one of those. Alright, so yes, I have not freed up the carbies properly, but I'm going to try and start it with the choke. See how we go. See if it coughs. No, nothing there. Nothing with nothing. Use a little bit of choke. Oh, hang on. Turn the fuel on. And the fuel filter, in my opinion, is not filling up. So why is that? There's enough fuel in there to get down. What's going on? Is it a vapor lock? Perhaps? Let's see if we can suck it through. Just doesn't want to let fuel through. Nope. Why? I don't want to get covered in petrol, but I have to see if this is flowing. Yeah, okay. There's nothing coming out the tap, bozo. There should be enough fuel in there. There's my cigarette lighter. I can't see where the fuel is. Petrol tank, by the way, is off a little monkey bike, pit bike. One of those little dirt bikes. And it works fine. Now that should be flowing. Yes, we have fuel. Okay. Get off me. I'm hooked. Bloody thing. Alright. Why aren't we getting fuel out? Alright. There's more fuel in there. Oh, it's still on. Give me more fuel, you mongrel. Try this again. I've topped up the tank with a bit more fuel. It hasn't dribbled through as much as I'd like, so don't know what the deal is there. That fuel filter appears to be a lot more on the top side than the bottom side. Just don't know if it's dribbled in the bottom, but I'll give it a kick in the guts with bugger all Aerostart that I have left. Let's see how it goes. Get rid of you so I don't hook myself up. Yep. Ooh. Brum brum. Brum brum. Got like none of this bloody spray left. Maybe not full choke. I got no spray left. Cruel. I don't think this is going to get running for us. It's not being nice. It's not being nice at all. The issue with this is, as I explained, it's in storage. It's going to stay in storage still for a while. I wanted to pull it out, get everything turning, see if I could get the bubble and squeaks happening. So, you know, so it's a rolling, stopping frame. As it is, I'm going to need help putting it back on the trailer because I've got no brakes and it's bloody heavy by myself. Yeah, so brakes won't bleed, clutch won't bleed, rear brake won't bleed, only because it's solid. I don't want to tear any rubbers for now. If it was my bike, I'd be starting to pull things off and getting it at least moving. Because it's not mine at the moment, I don't want to pull it apart too much. I will ask her if she wants me to get it turning, get it moving. Might spend more time on it. Let's put the positive karma happening, and hi Freddie, positive karma happening, and see what happens as far as that. I'd love to get it running, but I've got other things to finish before I start a new thing for the moment. But certainly long term, I want this in my my collection. Yeah, so yeah, with the motor, throttle is sticking. To fix that, we'd have to pull the carbies off. We'd have to at least, worst case, pull the carbies separate from each other, just so we can get to that that one common rod that runs them all. That's where I reckon the stiffness is. The cable, when I've got it full, I can go back and forward, and I can hear the cable moving on the inside, so it's not that. So yeah, carbies would have to get pulled apart. That's a day at least. So that's already telling me not to worry about it for now. As far as the oil turning over, I'd love to get it running. I'd love to get it warm, get that oil moving around properly, but I'll have to leave that for now. There's no major signs of rust, so I'm not on the outside, so I'm not worried about the inside of the cylinders. I reckon they're still okay. So I'll leave the spark plugs there, leave the atmosphere inside the motor, if you want to call it that. Leave it how it is. The only difference now is with the aerostat. I might give it a few more cranks, clear it out, but that'll be about the most that I do. Yeah, I'll put it back together and plan to get it out of here, back into storage. Back to the previous video that I did last time in regards to what to do with your new project. You certainly want to get it apart as much as you can, pull the fairing off as much as you can, or are willing to at this stage. I could go further. I could pull the back section off, the front, upper and lower, and then you'd get into the frame as far as cleaning it. A lot of this stuff, I won't clean it too much because dust and grime, believe it or not, actually preserve bikes. As long as they're not in the water, well, if they're greasy, they're not so bad out in the humidity, but for obvious reasons. But with dust, obviously they'll collect water and turn into rust because it's holding the moisture in the one spot. But the obvious spots will come up clean. But a lot of these hidden bits up the back, when they're covered in crap, this is where you'd pull it apart and you'd get your toothbrush in here and clean all your carbies, you clean the top of your head, you clean your frame, you know, get rid of all this dust, all that sort of thing. Might pop radiator cap if I can get it off. Oh, come on. No, we'll leave it on there. Yeah, but this is a total resto. Well, at least a total strip down. As a minimum, I wouldn't say rat bike, but you could repaint the frame in your garage. You wouldn't have to pull the motor out totally. You'd pull the carbies and the airbox out to give you space. Once you pull these alloy bits off and then put them back on, you're not going to see frame behind it, but you pull them off to give that a sand, etc. Then you wrap your motor up with rags and spray bit by bit. And watch everything else, because overspray travels. Learnt that as a kid with Mum's car. It'll all clean off and then it'll look $1,000,000. Don't you leak? Cool. Groovy. Well, on one hand, I got to play and you got to look at GPz900r, 1984 in this as is this example. Andrew did mention back in the day something about a 1000cc kit in it. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm sure time will tell. Measuring the bore is the best bit. What more can I say? It's a bike. It has history. It's been in a lot of movies.
Lieutenant! I can't hear you!
Cool. Oh well, let's say goodbye to this bike and we'll put it on mothballs. And one day I'll pull it out and play with it, and then you can get to see the resto then. But that'll be in the future. So until then, bye bye bike, bye bye bike, bye bye bike, bye bye bike.